The majestic Grand Hotel stood like a glittering jewel in downtown Manhattan, its Art Deco facade a monument to old money and even older grudges. I stood across the street, watching the doorman usher in guests with practiced elegance, remembering when I used to call this place home. That was before the incident, as my family so delicately called it. Before I dared to suggest that maybe, just maybe, the hotel chain needed to modernize its supply chain. Before my older brother Marcus, the CEO, had me escorted out by security. "Miss Jensen." A voice interrupted my thoughts. "Your car is ready." I turned to my assistant Sarah. "Thank you. Has our friend at Global Hospitality Supplies sent the latest numbers?" She handed me a tablet. "Yes, Ms. Jensen. The company's stock has dropped another 15% since last week. Their board is meeting tomorrow to discuss acquisition offers." I smiled, scrolling through the financial reports. Global Hospitality Supplies, the exclusive vendor for the entire Jensen Hotel Group, including the flagship Majestic Grand. The company my great-grandfather had handpicked 70 years ago to supply everything from their Egyptian cotton sheets to their handcrafted furniture. The same company that was now teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, thanks to some carefully orchestrated market maneuvers. "Miss Jensen." The doorman had spotted me. His eyes widened in recognition and fear. He reached for his radio. "No need," I called out. "I'm not going in. Just admiring the view." Within seconds, Marcus appeared at the entrance, his perfectly tailored suit a stark contrast to his reddening face. "Alexandra, what are you doing here?" "Hello, brother dear. Lovely day for a walk, isn't it?" He strode across the street, lowering his voice. "You know you're not welcome here. The board's decision was final." "Ah yes, the board. How are they enjoying the latest supply chain issues?" His jaw tightened. "Minor disruptions. Nothing we can't handle." I glanced at my watch, vintage Patek Philippe, bought with my first successful investment. "Really? Because I heard the presidential suite is out of those custom-made towels they're famous for. And wasn't there some issue with the restaurant's wine deliveries last week?" "How did you?" His eyes narrowed. "What have you done?" My phone buzzed, a message from my broker. "GIS board meeting moved up. They're desperate." "Done." I smiled innocently. "I'm just a concerned former employee keeping up with industry news. Speaking of which, have you seen Global Hospitality's stock price lately?" Marcus grabbed my arm, but I smoothly stepped back. "If you've interfered with our suppliers." Now, I chided. "Wouldn't want to make a scene in front of your guests, would you? Bad for the five-star image." As if on cue, a delivery truck pulled up to the hotel's service entrance. Or rather, didn't pull up. The driver was arguing with the receiving manager, gesturing at his clipboard. "Excuse me," Marcus snapped, already turning away. "I have to deal with this." "Of course," I called after him. "I'm sure it's just another minor disruption." Sarah appeared at my side as we walked toward our waiting car. "The hedge fund just confirmed. We have controlling interest in 3 of JHS's major creditors." I took one last look at the Majestic Grand, my family's pride and joy, and soon to be their biggest headache. Perfect. Time for phase 2. The Global Hospitality Supplies boardroom was exactly what you'd expect from a 70-year-old company. All mahogany panels and leather chairs, reeking of tradition and stagnation. Perfect for what I had planned. "Ms. Jensen," Richard Montgomery, JHSSO, stood to greet me. His handshake was clammy. "We weren't expecting you to attend in person." "I prefer to handle important matters face-to-face," I replied, taking my seat at the end of the conference table. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I could see the Majestic Grand in the distance. The board members shuffled nervously as my team distributed folders. These men had been supplying the Jensen Hotel Group for decades, enjoying a cushy monopoly thanks to my family's obsession with tradition. "Let's cut to the chase," Montgomery began. "Your investment group now controls a significant portion of our debt, and you've expressed interest in a complete acquisition." I opened my folder mostly for dramatic effect. I'd memorized every number weeks ago. "Correct. Though I'm curious, have you informed the Jensen Hotel Group about your situation?" The room tensed. Montgomery tugged at his collar. "We have a long-standing relationship with the Jensens. They understand that temporary supply issues are normal in this economy." "Temporary?" I raised an eyebrow. Like the missing wine shipments? The delayed furniture deliveries? The lost orders of their signature towels? Those were unfortunate coincidences, he protested weakly. I pulled out my phone, displaying a series of emails. Coincidences that happened exactly when and where my algorithms predicted they would, once we started manipulating your credit lines. The board members began whispering among themselves. They were starting to understand. You engineered this, Montgomery realized. The credit squeeze, the delivery problems. I prefer to think of it as market correction, I smiled. But yes, every missing towel, every delayed shipment, every lost order was precisely calculated. Tell me, has my brother Marcus called yet? As if on cue, Montgomery's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and paled. He's demanding an emergency meeting. Of course he is. The Jensen Hotel Group's annual charity gala is next week. Their biggest event of the year. And you're about to tell him you can't guarantee supplies for it. We can't do that, one board member protested. The Jensens are our biggest client. We're your biggest client, I corrected, sliding forward a new document. As of this morning, my company owns controlling interest in GIS. And we're implementing some changes to our client list. Montgomery's hands shook as he read the terms. This is insane. You want us to classify the Jensen Hotel Group as a non-premium client. With appropriate supply restrictions, I nodded. Effective immediately. They'll destroy us. No, I stood up, straightening my jacket. They can't. Because as of right now, I own not just this company, but every significant alternative supplier in the region. I've spent 2 years buying them all, through various shell companies. The boardroom erupted in chaos. My phone buzzed again, a message from Sarah. Marcus is on his way to Jay's headquarters. Perfect timing. The look on Marcus's face when he burst into the JHS boardroom was worth every penny of my 2-year investment strategy. He froze mid-stride, his perfectly cultivated CEO composure cracking as he saw me sitting at the head of the table. What is this? He demanded, looking between me and Montgomery. Richard, what is she doing here? Hello, brother dear, I smiled. We were just discussing some changes to the supplier agreement. Would you like to join us? Changes? His face reddened. We have a 70-year contract. I corrected, sliding a document toward him. The new ownership structure of JIS necessitates a review of all existing agreements. He snatched up the paper, his eyes widening as he read. New ownership. No, this is impossible. You couldn't afford to buy your primary supplier, along with every major alternative supplier in the region. I pulled up the corporate structure on the room's display screen. Amazing what you can accomplish when you're not busy maintaining a traditional hotel. Montgomery cleared his throat. Mr. Jensen, I'm afraid Ms. Jensen is correct. The company is now under her control and she has the right to. To what? Marcus slammed his hands on the table. To destroy our hotel? Our family's legacy. Legacy? I stood slowly. Let's talk about legacy, Marcus. Let's talk about how I spent 5 years in hotel management, learning every aspect of the business. How I developed a modernization plan that would have doubled our efficiency. How I presented that plan to the board, only to have you dismiss it as unnecessary innovation from your little sister. The board members shifted uncomfortably as I continued. Let's talk about how you had security escort me out when I persisted. How you told the family I was trying to destroy our traditions. How you convinced them to ban me from not just the business, but the hotels themselves. That plan would have ruined everything our grandfather built. No, I countered, bringing up another screen showing profit projections. It would have saved us from exactly what's about to happen now. My phone buzzed, a message from Sarah. Phase 3 ready. All alternative suppliers confirmed. You see, Marcus, while you were protecting tradition, I was building something new. Every time you refused to modernize, I bought another supplier. Every time you dismissed technology, I developed better systems. And every time you bragged about your exclusive supply chain, I gestured to the room. I was buying it out from under you. Montgomery handed Marcus another document, the new supply terms. His face went from red to white as he read. These prices, these delivery schedules, this would bankrupt us. Only if you insist on maintaining your current operational model, I noted. Of course I have a solution. I nodded to Sarah, who distributed new folders to everyone in the room. A complete modernization plan for the Jensen Hotel Group. Digital inventory management, automated ordering systems, sustainable supply chains, everything I proposed 5 years ago, updated for current market conditions. Marcus flipped through the pages, his hands shaking. And if we refuse? I shrugged. Then you can try to find new suppliers. Though you might find that difficult considering I own controlling interests in most of them. Or you could try to maintain your current system under the new pricing structure. But I pulled up a financial projection. Your reserves would last approximately 3 months. The board members were now openly staring at Marcus, waiting for his response. The great defender of tradition was cornered by the very supply chain he'd refused to modernize. The charity gala, he said quietly. It's next week. Yes, it is. The biggest event of the year. 800 guests, including the mayor, 2 senators, and dozens of celebrities. All expecting the famous Jensen Hotel Group luxury experience. I sat back down, enjoying the moment. Of course, I could guarantee all necessary supplies arrive in time. The finest wines, the signature towels, the custom furniture. Everything you need to maintain your 5-star reputation. All you have to do is agree to implement my modernization plan. Under your supervision, he growled. Naturally. Can't have you reverting to old habits the moment the crisis passes. Sarah handed me another message. Hotel booking system showing multiple cancellations for the gala weekend. Guests hearing rumors about supply issues. TikTok brother dear, I smiled. Those cancellations are starting to pile up. Marcus closed his eyes, decades of arrogance crumbling in real time. The board won't agree. They already have. I showed him my phone displaying emails from the majority shareholders. Amazing how quickly people embrace innovation when tradition threatens their profits. The room fell silent as Marcus sank into a chair. In the distance, the majestic Grand still gleamed, but its future now rested in my hands. I'll need your answer by end of day, I said, standing. The suppliers are waiting for confirmation before releasing the gala orders. As I gathered my things, Marcus spoke again, his voice barely a whisper. You planned this all along, didn't you? From the moment they threw you out. No, I replied. I planned it from the moment you convinced them to throw me out. There's a difference. Walking to the door, I turned back one last time. Oh, and Marcus, once this is done, you might want to update the guest exclusion list at the hotel. After all, I smiled, it's bad form to ban your new boss from the property. The boardroom erupted in nervous laughter as I left, my heels clicking on the marble floor. Outside, Sarah was waiting with our next schedule. The hotel's executive team is requesting an emergency meeting, she reported. Of course they are, I replied, looking up at the majestic Grand. Schedule it for tomorrow. In my new office, the penthouse suite they used to throw me out of. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just taking control. It's making them hand it over willingly, one tradition at a time.